How to live on 70% of your income, why most people can't do it. Yet, let me ask you a simple question. What would your life look like if you could live comfortably on just 70% of what you earn and still have money left over for saving, investing, and giving? Now, most people hear that and immediately say, there's no way. I can barely make it on 100%. And that is exactly the problem, because here's the truth no one talks about. It's not that your income is too small. It's that your lifestyle keeps expanding to match it. In other words, you're not broke because you don't earn enough. You're broke because you spend everything you earn. And if you want to break that cycle once and for all, if you want to finally get ahead instead of constantly playing catch up, you need to learn one critical skill: how to live on less than you make consistently. That's what this video is about. That's what this whole blueprint is designed to teach you. Let's rewind to a familiar story. You get your first job. You're earning $2,000 a month. It's tight, but you make it work. Then, one day, you get a raise. Now it's $2,500. You're excited. You promise yourself you'll save the difference, but before you know it, you've upgraded your phone, you're eating out more, you took on a car payment, your rent jumped because, hey, I can afford something nicer now. And somehow, you're back at square one again, living paycheck to paycheck. Sound familiar? That's called lifestyle inflation, and it's the number one reason why people making $3,000, $6,000, even $10,000 a month still feel broke, because the more you earn, the more you spend. Unless you intentionally decide to do something different, that something different is choosing to live on 70% of your income, no matter how much it grows. And it's not just a budgeting trick, it's a philosophy, a way of living that prioritizes freedom over flexing, long-term peace over short-term pleasure. Great question. The live on 70% rule comes from a classic framework known as the 70-20-10 plan, a powerful strategy that breaks your income into three categories: 70% for living expenses, 20% for saving, investing, and wealth building, 10% for giving, generosity, or causes you care about. It's simple. It's flexible. And it works. Why does it matter? Because the average person in America saves less than 5% of their income. That's it, and many don't save anything at all. But when you master the 70-20-10 system, you instantly flip the script. You become part of a different group, the group that's not just surviving, but building something real. Let's address the elephant in the room. If you're already living paycheck to paycheck, the idea of cutting back 30% sounds impossible, even insulting. So let's be clear, living on 70% of your income isn't about making yourself suffer. It's about reclaiming control. You don't start at 70% overnight, you work your way there strategically, with purpose, and over the next 4 parts of this series, I'll walk you through exactly how to do it, how to reduce expenses without feeling deprived, how to increase income in realistic, repeatable ways, how to automate your money so saving becomes effortless, and how to shift your mindset so you actually stay on track, long term. But before we build, we need to clear the foundation, so let's be brutally honest. Most people aren't reckless with money, they're just in a fog. They don't know where their money goes, they're not tracking spending, they're not reviewing monthly habits, they're operating on hope, not data, and that fog creates chaos. Think about it like this: if you drove a car with no speedometer, no gas gauge, and no rearview mirror, would you feel confident on the road? Of course not, but that's how most people are operating with their finances. That ends today, because if you want to live on 70% of your income, step 1 is getting crystal clear on where every dollar is currently going. Before you can reduce anything, you need to see everything. This isn't a full budget yet, just a breakdown. Grab a notebook, spreadsheet, or app like Notion or Google Sheets. Write down 1. Total monthly income after taxes, 2. Every fixed expense, rent, utilities, debt payments, 3. Every variable expense, food, gas, fun, subscriptions, 4. Unexpected or irregular expenses, gifts, repairs, medical, your goal. Account for 100% of your take-home income. Most people find that they're spending 100 to 110% without realizing it, thanks to credit cards, buy now/pay later, and impulse spending. Once you see your full picture, you have power, because what gets measured gets managed. This income map will be your foundation for everything we do next. Now that you've mapped your full income and spending, in the next part of this series, we're going to zoom in on the 3 biggest expenses that quietly drain your paycheck and how to cut them down without ruining your lifestyle. We'll also start designing your first living on 70% blueprint tailored to your current situation. So stay with us, because your path to financial freedom, it doesn't start with a lottery ticket. It starts with one powerful choice: I will not spend everything I earn, and once you make that choice, everything begins to change. Let's start with the biggest one: housing. For most people, housing takes up 30% to 50% of their take-home pay, and in some cities, it can be even more. But here's the real problem: housing costs rise. But they don't raise alarms, because when you upgrade your apartment from $1,000 to $1,400 a month, it feels like progress: nicer space, better location, more comfort. But if your income hasn't grown by 40% alongside it, you've just robbed yourself of future freedom. Let's be honest, downsizing your home, getting a roommate, or moving slightly further out might not sound glamorous, but it can be revolutionary. Imagine cutting your rent or mortgage by $300 per month. That's $3,600 a year. That's the start of an emergency fund. That's the foundation of an investment account. That's a life where money finally starts working for you. So ask yourself, am I living in a space that's making me feel rich, but keeping me broke? If the answer is yes, it's time to rethink what home means, because a smaller space with peace of mind is far wealthier than a bigger space with financial stress. You might not realize it, but transportation, especially car ownership, is one of the most financially draining choices you can make. Let's break it down: $500 car payment, $150 per month in gas, $100 per month in insurance, $100 per month in maintenance and registration. That's nearly $850 a month, and we haven't even touched depreciation yet. Your car losing value every single day. Over 5 years, you could be spending over $50,000 just to move from place to place. Now, we're not saying to ditch your car if you need it to survive, but we are saying this: if your car costs more than your investments, you're going in reverse. So what can you do? Drive your current car longer instead of trading up, refinance your auto loan, switch to a used, reliable vehicle with no payments, use public transportation, carpool, or bike when possible. Every dollar you don't send to a car payment is a dollar that can buy back your future. This one's sneaky. You barely feel it, but over time, it bleeds you dry. I'm talking about subscription creep. You know what I mean. $15 for Netflix, $12 for Spotify, $10 for YouTube Premium, $5 for an app you forgot you had, $25 for that monthly beauty box, $30 for a gym membership you don't use, $60 for a streaming service you don't even watch anymore. Add it up, it's not uncommon for people to be spending $150 to $300 per month on subscriptions. That's $1,800 to $3,600 a year. Now ask yourself, am I using all of this? And is it making my life meaningfully better? Most times, the answer is no. You don't need to cut it all. But you do need to audit. Here's your next challenge: white heavy checkmark. Log into your bank and credit card accounts, white heavy checkmark. Look at the last 60 days, white heavy checkmark. Cancel anything you haven't used in the last 30, white heavy checkmark. Pause or downgrade plans where possible. Just this move alone can unlock hundreds of dollars per year without changing your lifestyle. It's not about suffering. It's about trimming the waste so you can fund what truly matters. Let's pause. You've now reviewed your full spending map. You've identified the 3 wealth leaks: housing, transportation, subscriptions. Let's say you reduce rent by $300 per month, save $200 per month by driving a cheaper car or refinancing, cut $100 per month in unused subscriptions. That's $600 per month freed up. That's $7,200 per year you can now put toward paying off debt, building your emergency fund, starting a Roth IRA, taking control of your future. That's the power of conscious spending, not cutting back, but redirecting. And this is the beginning of your 70% plan. Let's make it real. Case study 1, Sarah, single, 26, earning $3,000 per month. Before, rent, $1,200, car, $500, other expenses, $1,000, savings, $0. She's living on 100%, nothing left. After, moves in with a roommate, drops rent to $750, sells car, uses public transit and Uber, $200 per month total, cuts $100 in subscriptions, starts automating $600 into savings and investing. She now lives on 70% and saves 20%, gives 10%. That's freedom in motion. Here's what I want you to do today. Pushpin audit your big 3: 1. Housing, 2. Transportation, 3. Subscriptions. Pushpin for each. Ask, am I spending more than I need to? Is this aligned with my values? Can I downsize, refinance, or eliminate this? Pushpin set a monthly savings goal from these cuts. Even $200 per month is over $2,400 per year. That's a game changer. Remember, every dollar you rescue is a vote for your future. Now that we've cleared the waste and found the margin, you're ready for the next level, automation. In part 3, we'll build your automated money system where savings, bills, and goals run on autopilot, and you never have to wonder where your money went again. No stress, no guilt. Just a system that works for you. You won't want to miss it. Let's get one thing straight: discipline is unreliable. Systems are unstoppable. The biggest reason people fail to save or stick to a budget is not laziness, it's friction. They have good intentions, but their system, or lack of one, sabotages them. Here's what happens: they get paid, the money sits in one account, bills go out. Spending happens, they hope something's left over to save, but hope is not a financial strategy. The wealthy don't hope they save money, they make sure of it by automating it, and you can do the exact same thing no matter how much you make. To build your automated system, you only need 3 basic accounts: 1. Income account, checking, where your paycheck lands; 2. Expenses account, checking, where all your bills and daily spending come out; 3. Freedom account, savings or investment, where your future gets funded automatically. You can use your current bank or open new accounts. Many online banks now allow you to create sub-accounts or buckets for free. Don't overcomplicate it, but do keep your spending separate from your saving. Out of sight, out of mind, that's what protects your progress. This step is non-negotiable. You must pay yourself first, not last. How? As soon as your paycheck hits your income account, set up an automatic transfer. 20% goes straight to your freedom account, 10% goes to a giving account, optional, but powerful. 70% stays in your expenses account for bills, food, fun, etc. If your job allows it. Ask HR to split your paycheck into multiple accounts. Many employers offer this feature, but even if not, you can do it with simple automatic transfers from your bank. Pro tip: set your auto transfers to happen the day after payday so you never accidentally spend what you meant to save. automation removes willpower from the equation. And that's the secret. Now that your money is flowing into the right buckets, it's time to tell it where to go every single dollar. This is where a zero-based budget comes in. Here's how it works. You take your monthly income, say $3,000. You assign every dollar to a job: spending, saving, giving, until you're at zero. Example, $2,100 for expenses, 70%, $600 for saving/investing, 20%, $300 for giving or goals, 10%. Nothing is left floating. Why does this matter? Because unassigned money becomes impulse spending money. Zero-based budgeting gives purpose to every dollar. It doesn't mean you can't have fun, it just means your fun is part of the plan, and when fun is planned, guilt disappears. Automation doesn't mean set it and forget it forever. It means set it and monitor it like a boss. Every Sunday, or whatever day works for you, set a 15-minute money check-in. Here's what you do: open your accounts, check your automated transfers, review any overspending, adjust next week's plan if needed. That's it. You don't need an Excel degree. You need consistency. These micro check-ins help you catch problems early and keep you emotionally connected to your goals. You'll be amazed how powerful you start to feel when you actually know what your money is doing every week. There are apps and banks designed to make this whole process simple. Here are a few. Inab, you need a budget great for zero-based budgeting and planning. Mint or Monarch, easy overview of spending and goals. Capital/Chime/Ally, banks that let you create savings buckets and automate transfers. Fidelity/Vanguard/Betterment, for automating investment contributions. The tool isn't the point, the system is. Choose one that fits your vibe. Start small. Build confidence, then scale as you grow. Let's go back to Sarah. Remember her? She used to spend 100% of her income and save nothing. After cutting housing, car, and subscription costs, she freed up $600 per month. Here's her new automated plan. Payday, first of the month, her $3,000 paycheck lands in her income account. Same day, $600 auto-transferred to her Freedom account. $300 transferred to a giving account. Remaining $2,100 sent to her expenses account. Her bills, rent, phone, etc., auto-deduct from her expenses account. She uses a debit card linked only to her expenses account for daily spending. She checks in every Sunday for 10 minutes, then enjoys her week. No guilt, no confusion, no accidental spending, just progress. On repeat. Here's what begins to happen when you live this way: saving becomes second nature, spending becomes mindful, debt starts shrinking, your net worth starts climbing, stress goes down, confidence goes way up, and the best part, you don't have to think about money 24/7, because your system is doing the heavy lifting. Automation gives you your time, energy, and life back. You become the kind of person who always has money, not because you hustle harder, but because you built a system that works while you sleep. Here's your challenge: white heavy checkmark. Open your 3 accounts: income, expenses, freedom, savings or investing. White heavy checkmark. Set up automatic transfers based on your 70/20/10 plan. White heavy checkmark. Choose one app or tool to track your flow. White heavy checkmark. Schedule a 15-minute weekly check-in starting this week. You don't need to get it perfect. You just need to get it going, because once your system is in place, the gap between where you are and where you want to be starts closing on its own. Now that your spending is under control and your system is automated, it's time to talk about the other side of the equation, income. In Part 4, we'll walk through realistic, sustainable ways to increase your income even if you're already working full-time. We're not talking hustle culture. We're talking strategic, skill-based income growth that aligns with your goals. You don't want to miss it. Here's what happens when you increase your income without increasing your spending. Your 70% covers a smaller slice of your earnings, your 20% savings grows exponentially, you reach your goals way faster. Let's say you're living on $2,800 a month, and you increase your income from $4,000 to $5,000, you don't upgrade your life. You keep your expenses steady. That means your savings jump from $800 per month to $1,800 per month. That's $21,600 a year, more than many people even earn after taxes. That's the power of increasing income without lifestyle creep. So how do you do it? Let's break it down. Before you look outside, look inside. At your current job, most people leave thousands of dollars on the table because they've never asked for more. Here's how to fix that. Push pin A. Ask for a raise strategically. If you've been in your role for a year or more and are performing well, you're likely underpaid. But don't just walk in and say, "I want a raise." Instead, walk in with evidence. Track your wins and metrics: sales closed, clients retained, systems improved. Research average salaries for your role in your area. Use Glassdoor, Payscale, Levels.fyi. Prepare a script. I've really enjoyed growing in my role here. Over the past year, I've insert achievements. Based on my contributions and current market data, I'd love to discuss adjusting my compensation to reflect my impact. A 10% raise on a $50,000 salary is $5,000. If that conversation takes 30 minutes, you just earned $166 per minute. Push pin B. Ask for additional work that pays more. Sometimes a raise isn't possible, but additional projects are. You take on overtime. Can you lead a new initiative? Can you help onboard or train new employees? Even small additions can increase your monthly income without needing to find a second job. Be the person who solves problems. That's the person who gets paid. You have skills even if you don't think you do. The trick is identifying which ones can solve problems people will pay to fix. Let's brainstorm. Lightbulb common marketable skills: writing/editing, graphic design, social media management, tutoring/teaching, translating/transcribing, photography, coding/web design, virtual assistant/admin work, copywriting, video editing, resume building, selling products, digital or physical, magnifying glass tilted left, step-by-step skill monetization. Plan. 1. List your strengths, both soft and technical. 2. Search on platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer, TaskRabbit. 3. Look at what people are charging for your skill. 4. Create a basic offer, even if it's just helping friends at first. 5. Promote your offer online or locally. 6. Deliver amazing results, get testimonials, and scale. Even earning $300 per month from a side skill is $3,600 per year, and that could be your Roth IRA fully funded. You don't need a fancy business plan to start earning extra income. Here are 5 beginner-friendly side hustle ideas that don't require a ton of experience. 1. Freelance on the weekend, Upwork, Fiverr, Contra, etc. 2. Deliver with flexibility, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instacart, 1 to 2 nights a week. 3. Sell digital products, create Notion templates, Canva planners, guides, or printables. 4. Start a YouTube/TikTok page, share your journey, skills, or experiences, slow to grow, but long-term potential. 5. Offer a local service, dog walking, babysitting, yard work, house cleaning. Pick one thing. Test it. Learn. Iterate. You're not building the next Amazon, you're building momentum and cash flow. Here's the part most people mess up. They start making more money and immediately start spending more money. New car, bigger apartment, fancier meals. That's not growth. That's a trap. If you raise your income and your expenses rise with it, your financial position doesn't change at all. So here's the golden rule: lock in your lifestyle. Raise your savings rate. If your income grows by $500 per month, Try living on just $100 of that, and save the other $400. You'll still feel the joy of progress without sacrificing your future. David was a full-time warehouse worker making $3,200 per month. He lived on nearly all of it. After watching Money_VSQ, here's what he did: asked for a raise after showing he had cut inventory losses by 40%, got a $200 per month raise, started editing short-form TikTok videos for a local brand, made $600 per month on the side, cut his lifestyle spending and stayed at the same apartment, automated his $800 per month extra into a high-yield savings account and a Roth IRA. In 1 year, David went from broke to having $9,600 saved and invested. He didn't hustle harder. He made strategic moves, so can you. Here's your next challenge. 1. Audit your current job. Oh, can you ask for a raise? Promotion? More responsibility? 2. List 3 skills you can monetize. Or what do people always ask you for help with? 3. Pick one platform and start: Fiverr, Upwork, Instagram, Facebook Marketplace, etc. 4. Commit to earning $100 extra this month. Oh, that's it. One small goal. Prove it's possible. Remember, it's not about adding stress, it's about increasing options. And every dollar you earn above your 70% budget, that's a dollar that buys back your time, your freedom, your future. You've done the hard work, cut the waste, built the system, expanded your income. Now it's time to paint the picture of what this all leads to. In part 5, we'll show you exactly what life looks like when you live on 70% with real-world freedom, peace of mind, and a life of choices, not limits. This is where it all comes together. Don't miss it. Imagine this: you wake up on a random Tuesday, there's no dread in your chest, no stress about whether you can make rent, no running mental math of which bill is due today. You sip your coffee slowly, not because you're lazy, but because you're free. That's the 70% life. It's calm, predictable, empowering. You know that whatever happens today, you have white heavy checkmark an emergency fund, white heavy checkmark a retirement plan in motion, white heavy checkmark savings for upcoming goals, white heavy checkmark income flowing in, white heavy checkmark expenses under control. This isn't the bare minimum lifestyle, this is the abundant lifestyle, because peace of mind is the highest form of wealth. Let's recap what you've created over these 5 steps. 1. Awareness of where your money goes. 2. A 70/20/10 budget that protects your future. 3. Automated savings, bills, and investment flow for additional income that accelerates your goals. 5. A rock-solid mindset that resists lifestyle creep. Most people will never get here, not because they can't, but because they never take the first uncomfortable step. You did. And now? You've unlocked what we call the financial freedom flywheel. Here's how it works. 1. You live on 70% of your income. 2. You save and invest the remaining 30%. 3. Your investments begin to grow without you lifting a finger. 4. That growth turns into passive income. 5. Passive income reduces how much you need from your job. 6. Less pressure from work equals more space to create and earn more. 7. You earn more and still live on 70%. 8. The cycle repeats faster every time. This is how people retire decades early. This is how someone with an average salary builds a 6-figure investment portfolio, not through luck, through consistency. And here's what you can expect as you stay in this cycle. Once you've got this down, the world opens up. For real, here's what becomes possible. Airplane 1. Travel without guilt. You can fly across the country or the world, knowing the trip is already paid for because your travel fund has been slowly growing behind the scenes. No credit card debt. No stress. Just freedom. Child 2. Raise a family with confidence. Kids. College. Unexpected medical bills. You've got a cushion that most people only dream about. You're not rich. You're ready. House 3. Buy a home smartly. You're not jumping into a mortgage with shaky savings. You're walking in with a strong credit score, a solid down payment, a clear understanding of your budget. You buy a house that serves your life, not one that strangles it. Man in lotus position 4. Work because you want to. When you've got 12 months of expenses saved and investments growing, you stop chasing toxic jobs, you start choosing meaning, you build your own thing, you take time off, you work part-time and live full-time. That's the ultimate flex. Even when you're living on 70%, here are 3 major traps and how to stay clear of them. Warning 1. Lifestyle inflation. You get a raise, and your spending magically increases to match it. Solution: every time you get a raise, increase your savings percent first. Reward yourself after. Warning 2. Comparison culture. Your friend just got a Tesla. Your coworker posts from Bali. You start questioning your 10-year-old car. Solution: remember, they might be one paycheck away from broke. You're not. You're playing the long game. Warning 3. I deserve it syndrome. You've worked hard and you do deserve joy, but not at the cost of your future. Solution: budget for fun. Enjoy your money intentionally, not impulsively. If you follow this plan, you've proven something most people never will. You can do hard things, you can delay gratification, you can build a life most dream about, one smart choice at a time. You've taken the emotion out of money, you've made it a tool, not a tyrant. That is power. That is peace, and here's the best part. You've built the foundation, now it's time to dream again. What do you want? Start your own business, take a sabbatical, help your parents retire early, travel for 6 months, buy land and build a cabin in the woods. You now have a roadmap. You're no longer reacting to life, you're designing it on your terms. And that's what living on 70% really gives you, not less, but more of what matters. They said it was impossible, that financial peace was only for the wealthy, that you'd never save enough, invest enough, or earn enough to break the cycle. They were wrong. You're not average, you're not the 99% stuck in the loop, you were the 1% who dared to change, and now, you're free to live, not just survive.